So you were born, you started to learn how to move, and then walk, and then talk, and then you started going to school, and you started to learn more. And it starts ramping up. You learn more in high school, and you're doing more in high school physically. Then you go in college, and you specify. You get your degree, you get your first job, and then what? I think, I think you, or all of us, just kind of slow down. What are we supposed to do after college? You get your job. Some people, unfortunately, you might be repeating the same day every day. The thing with this is that as you grow up, your goals are laid out before you. Okay, and like I said, when you get to the end, for most people, which is your job, are you supposed to repeat the same day every single day? I don't know. You tell me, because there is something in your brain eventually that will rebel, right? And nothing too crazy, but you just kind of get this sense of like, I kind of want something more out of this. And there's a reason for that. It's because deep down, human beings are this thing, big term, but teleological organisms. That means you only feel good in pursuit of a goal. Okay. And the key is in pursuit of. And as a side note, you can reach a goal and it kind of feels good for a few days or a week. And unfortunately, you got to go for another one. That's just the way life is. So, this whole in pursuit thing, this is where something like the flow state, or in sports they call it being in the zone, happens. When while you're doing the activity, you kind of forget everything else, right? Like when you're playing the game, you're not thinking about what's for dinner or did I stretch enough? No, you're just in that state. And when you have something you're working on, you forget about everything else. Hello, like video games, you forget the world around you. Now, this may sting a little bit, but the whole arc I gave of kind of reaching the end of, I would say, like mental development, right, is kind of what we don't like. Let me rephrase it. You don't want to be normal, okay? And that may hurt to hear, but like I said, deep down inside, you're like, yeah, is there something else? And this is why people start getting like hobbies, or they maybe buy things to kind of keep the excitement going. But if you want to avoid this trap, right, all you have to do is just do something different. And it doesn't have to be anything monumental, as I'll describe. Now, I titled this Why Be Normal? And if you're not a Olympic lifting nerd like me, I'll explain it. I think this shirt, it's from a t-shirt, and it gained in popularity back when there was footage of the Bulgarian weightlifting team. I think it was in the 90s. And one of the guys is wearing a shirt that says "Why be normal?" and the words are upside down. I think the word normal is upside down, and that could be applied to that team and their training, because back then the training was brutal, which was you basically go to max or near max lifts, multiple sessions per day on multiple lifts. You may be like, I don't want to go that far, but it's just, you can apply that to everything. And I think that shirt came out before those guys were wearing it. So somebody out there thought that concept was a good idea. Now, we got to backtrack. So we're talking about, not being normal. And I don't want to be rude about this term, but it's just, you tell me, when you have a point in your life where you're like, I feel like I'm repeating the same day. Let's back up a bit. Conformity is kind of the opposite of rebelling out and doing something different. But why do we do that in the first place, right? Why do we conform / do what the majority does? Traditionally, I meant survival, right? Now, we don't have this threat in our lives anymore, but it's like if you were in this tribe way back in the day and you started kind of doing things or had different beliefs from everybody else, you were cast out. And even if deep down you didn't want to do the stuff or believe the same things, if you're cast out of the tribe, you basically, you have a hard time living. Okay, like it makes it harder to hunt. It makes it harder for you to pass down offspring. It makes it harder for you to protect yourself, right? So, like I said, that doesn't really apply today. Like you don't have to hunt anymore because you just go to the grocery store. But you still, you may have a friend group, and I guess personal example. Luckily, if you're watching this, guys, all my gamer friends are my real life friends. But if you have friends that are in gaming, or you are friends with them because of gaming, and you don't want to game anymore, you're going to drop out of this friend group. And it's like, then what? If you want to know, just get a new friend group. But it may sting a little bit, but it's like, as soon as you start to do something different, we're gonna lose some people, maybe some social aspect, and it's not gonna feel good. Now, back to the whole normalcy thing and repeating the same day. If you don't want that, you probably are in this kind of boat where you see what the majority is doing, which is they don't really have goals. Everybody stays up late. You entertain yourself until you have to go to bed. You are living for the weekends. Why does this happen? It's called entropy. All right. Thanks for Danco for introducing me to the term, but entropy is a term that means if you don't put energy, or it's just decay in general. Okay. If you don't put energy into the thing starts to just whittle away. Like, I hate to say it, your room or garage. If you don't put energy into cleaning it, it's going to just over time just build up stuff without you even really trying. And so we can call this psychic entropy, where it's just like your brain is just whatever happens, and over time just things just kind of slow down. You're not putting energy into doing the opposite of normalcy, and it just kind of takes over your life. Now, before you think this is one of those how to get ahead of 99% of people, don't worry about other people. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, camera. I'm talking to you because if you want to have a switch in your life, all it takes is starting to do something different, small, outside of the norm of what you have been doing. Okay? Don't say normal as far as everybody else. I'm talking about normal as far as what you do day to day. All right? How do you do this? I'm going to tell you. So step one, as always, is to set a goal, because that's kind of the spark that leads to everything else. All right? It's kind of a catchy thing now where it's like, don't set the goal, you got to set the system. Why would you set a system if you don't have a goal in the first place? And I give this example. I'm going to set a system to learn how to play the piano. Why? Even if my goal is not to learn how to, not to play or perform piano, why would you set the system if there is no goal to begin with? Okay? I mean, I have a system for guitar because I want to play guitar. You don't just set the system willy-nilly. Anyway, you set the goal first, and then you list your to-do list. Okay, that could be your system. But what you need to do is kind of free form, write out everything that you could potentially do to reach this goal of yours, right? Like, let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. You could count your calories. You could cut out certain macronutrients. You could get 10,000 steps. You could do HIIT. You could get an accountability partner. You could take a picture of your food, send it to somebody every single day. You could get a coach. There's a lot of things you could do, all right? But I want you to think about the 80-20. I guess this is step 3. So you have your goal, everything you could do, and then strip it down to the few things that make the most sense, which is probably just you eat less, right? 80-20 meaning that out of all that big list you have, there's only a few things that are really going to move the needle, and then focus on those every single day. Okay, that's about it. So goal, all the things you could do, cut down to the few things you will do, and then anything else is a bonus. But now number 4, as a bonus step, you need to have the anti-vision, okay, as Danco again puts it. And that just means every once in a while, you need to think about, okay, if I am living out something that I'm not happy with, if I keep doing what I'm doing now, what will my life look like in another 5 years? Is it going to be the same exact thing? Is it going to be, hate to say it, but do you have friends or family members or neighbors or acquaintances that are living the end stages of the actions you have now? And if not, that's not what you want, you need to do something different, okay? I think goals are nice. And I said this before, but if you have usually a goal you have is the opposite of a current state of living that you're not happy with right now. Okay, that may hurt to say, but if you say like, I want to make more money, that means that you don't like how much you're making right now. If you're like, I want to lose weight, that means you don't like your current weight right now. Okay, but you need both. It's the goal is nice, but it's not concrete. You can visualize it, but your current state is what you're living out right now, and that'll, I hate to say it, scare you into action. Okay, so keep those. I think those on two ends are good things to kind of keep at the top of your mind. All right, have your goal, but then have your I really don't want to live this out type thing. Okay, so that's it. I think deep down, rebellion is something that human beings like to associate themselves with, right? Like everybody likes Star Wars because the rebellion, fight against the Empire, fight against the whatever is in charge, right? But we like what we see in those people because they are doing something that's different than the norm in that setting, right? Superheroes. I know they have superpowers, but they're doing something different. They're taking a stance. Even Batman, even though it doesn't have superpowers, I guess he has a lot of money. but if we don't have superpowers or a cave or a cape, we can do our own thing. And I think people get obsessed with superheroes, but they don't realize that there are people that we look up to in real life that are quote unquote superheroes, but they're just doing something different than everybody else, right? Like if you look up to an athlete, they are out there training hard, going to bed early, probably waking up early, sacrificing a lot just to have the like 2 hours of gameplay that you get to see. But they're doing something different every single day than what they could be doing, all right? Because it takes energy. It takes energy to go to bed early instead of staying up late. It takes energy to wake up early instead of sleeping in, to work out instead of sitting on the couch, to, I don't know, eat healthy, to make your own food instead of getting takeout. All right. So it's rough, but it's worth it. So don't get intimidated. All you got to do is start small, right? And start today. That's the end of that. Don't be normal, whatever that is, whatever that means to you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. There's a newsletter, if I remember to link it in here. And I'll see you in the next video.